Hi ladies, hi gentlemen. I'm coming to you with a very quick important question, as well as I'll start off with a haul of a few things I got early this morning when I went to my local scrapbook store. Collective Journey in Redlands, California is where I shop, and they had some really cute things, so I'll go ahead and get started. First of all, they had these fab scraps, which were silhouette of old-fashioned men and women, and I've opened a package, so let me show you real quick. They have a little boy, or like, I think that's actually a man because this is the little boy. And then they have the lady, nice cute hat. And then they have the man in the fedora, so cute. And then they have the man in the top hat. And then they have the lady in the bun. Kind of hard to see with my hand in the way. And then they have, I guess this would be considered grandma. Super cute. So I plan to paint those black and do some cute silhouette items with those. The next thing they had, actually I got this at Michael's last night and I forgot to include it in my haul video. These cute wood veneer glasses, and I plan to make a cute card, and the sentiment's going to be, "It was so nice to see you." And I think that's going to turn out really cute. And then I have two quick project shares, and then I'll get on with my question for you. This one that I made is a altered art journal, and I made it with the K & Company key and these little mirrors that I got at Michael's long time ago, and a music style paper clip. And these little squares are actually made for sewing. I'm not sure exactly what you do with them, but they're available at Joann's in the sewing accessory section. So I got those, and I put in a picture of a little girl, and then what I did was put a glass tile over it. It happened to fit perfectly. And then I went over it with, I don't necessarily use glossy accents. I tend to like diamond glaze. It's a little more, it's thinner, so it can level itself out a little bit better. Although I do use diamond glaze for other things. And this piece came from, there's a jewelry store here in Redlands called, what is the name of that? Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name. But anyway, they have a huge bin of broken pieces of jewelry. And so, a Rolling Stone, that's the name of it, a Rolling Stone. And so I go in there and I will take 20-30 minutes and just come out with bags of broken jewelry. And I just decoupaged over the top some ephemera. And it's just a journal. I lined it with some canvas pockets on the inside. And sporadically through the thing I added some other ones in for different things, stash in there. So that's that. That's my little journal to keep in my purse. And then I'm sure you all are familiar with Marion Smith's printables. With that, I created this journal. Let's see if I can get back far enough. And, oh, what is the name of this paper? Can't think of the name of this, but I'm sure you've all seen it. And I used some Prima Satin pearls, as well as the little crystal ball from Artie Cakes, and a little gem here. And these doilies are from the Paper Bag Lady, and floral trim from Sock Crafters. And this little center came from K & Company. And so what I made the cover of this from was some years ago, I came into a lot of shirt board that I got from a business. They were no longer using them. And basically, it's very thin chipboard. It has brown side on one side, and it's white glossy on the other. But you can see how thin that really is. And so what I did was measure it and fold it in half. I made a binding out of the same stuff, and then I folded 2 pieces, and I put in a back cover, a front cover, and a back cover using that shirt board. And I see that I am going to have to figure out some way to glue this down. I made this piece just a little bit too slim, so it's when it's filling up, it's wanting to come apart, but that's an easy fix. So I closed it up with seam binding, and inside it is chocked full of the Marion Smith printables from the, oh, I'm sorry, I can't remember the collection either. What a terrible video maker. But inside are pockets with those printables. This collection was the front runner to the romance novel. So if I can remember what that was called. And there's lots of little pockets, pockets and doodads in it. This just comes out here. It's hard because I'm looking through the camera, and so I'm trying to stay not so close up in frame, and it's a little difficult. But this opens up like this. And I actually made this for an aunt, a favorite aunt of mine, who asked for a journal. And this came from the collection. It's just got a printable, and I just kind of distressed the back a little bit with an ink pad so she can write there. And these were all cards that I put in here, and I added some Say-It crystals, so she's able to have the beautiful outside, but also she can write on the inside. More little cards to put in, and some of them fold out. This is a Hero Art stamp that I use. I thought she was so cute, vintage 40s. And this was some K & Company trim that I used here on the front cover, and cut the rest of it and put it here. Oh, I think I'm skipping a page or two. Let's see. Actually, no. And then I just added some ledger paper, and throughout I cut down some lined note paper so that she can actually have paper to journal instead of having all pockets. And so I added that in. More lined paper. Actually, this came from the collection. This is the back side of these images. If you flip your paper after you print, you can actually print this on the back of each of these. But I didn't want to do that. I needed the extra paper, so I just put them in there that way. And the imagery is just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And so there's more note paper, more cards, more. This paper actually came from Seven Gypsies, but I thought it matched so nice that I put it in. And more lined paper, and more. Some of it I printed on regular paper, some of it I printed on cardstock, so you have a variety of textures. And more little cards. Each of them, like I said, each of them open up. Oh, looks like I put that one in backwards. We'll have to fix that. And these are little pocket envelopes that are printed on paper instead of cardstock. So that's an example of what I meant. They're a little bit lighter in dimension and weight. And so I added these in. And the back cover also, if you remember, the front cover said the story with that pocket. And these came from Hobby Lobby's Paper Studio line. And this one says Journey and Date, and it's the same thing. This also has a little, oops, this also has a little insert inside. And so I lined it with some K & Company. No, I take this back. This was Recollections from a long time ago. And this is the back cover. But one thing I wanted to show you was when I made that spine using the shirt board by just using the Martha Stewart board and folding it, I forget the measurements, to use the clip inside, I just used one of the Tim Holtz binder clips that you can add in, and I glued it, but really you can use it to just be held by a brad like it is here. And using those, they come in small and large. You can make anything really into a binder. So that was that project, and it just closes with a little bit of antique seam binding. So that's that project. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Can't wait to get that sent off. And now for my question. I bought at Michael's this Recollections Shabby Chic Vintage Romance milk paint. And I am having the most awful time trying to get this to mix. It comes in a powder, and the directions say to mix it with warm water. But when you put the warm water in it, and I'm using a paint palette to mix it, it's like mixing protein powder into water. I mean, there are clumps, and I stir and stir and stir, and it just will not mix with the clumps floating on top of the water. And so I'm only able to get a very light colored, almost like a rinse instead of a paint. So I'm wondering if anybody who has this, if you've used it, please reply to this or do a video response and show me how you use this, because I really love these colors. They're very shabby chic, and I want to be able to use them, but I don't want to keep wasting my energy trying to get them to mix in if they're not going to. So with that, I'll go ahead and close, and I thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, and thank you to anybody who will take the time to answer this frustrated crafter. Okay, it's Saturday afternoon here in California. Have a great day, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.